Talk to me, tell me your name. You blow me off like it's all the same. You lit it fierce and I'm taking away like a bomb. Yeah, baby. She bangs. Oh, baby, when she moves. I go crazy cause she looks like a fly, but she stings like a bee. Like every girl in history. She bangs.
That means that we punched our ticket to go try to win a Super Bowl, and that's it. We got one game at a time, starting at 1 o'clock on Sunday. Love y'all, boys. Love you. Love you. I'll go to war with every single one of you, every game, all right? Love you, 1-7. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Win.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have me douse, not what I'm about, have your fucking cloud. It be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. 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 It's showtime.
Welcome to the Reese T Tailgate pregame show. I'm your host, Tommy. Next to me is my main man, Mr. King, Aramis. What up, Aramis?
Yes, sir. Let's go Bills today. We need this win more than anybody knows.
Poof, do we ever, man. What's up? I see that Josh Allen cereal box in the background. I don't recall seeing that. What's going on there? What else you got back there?
I got some cards. I got a Jim Kelly signed.
Okay.
What is that? 2002 Hall of Fame induction poster with the actual emblem on the bottom.
Okay. All right, Aramis. All right, things picking up over there.
Trying to be like you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude. I have no more room. I'm gonna be honest. As you can see, there is zero room on the wall behind me for anything else. And believe me, I want more, but can't fill up the wall anymore. Let's get to some of the chat real quick before we get going. What up, Buffalo Snowy? How you doing? Go Bills! Go Bills! Damn right, go Bills! Another snowy game, I hear. Yeah, more than likely it's. I think it was like a 50%, 60%. I don't know what it is today. What up, Tommy and Mr. King? Look at that, Mr. King, getting known as Mr. King now. I was just calling him King. Now you're the Mr. King. What up, guys? What up? Bills by double digits. All right. Whoa. Okay. All right. Okay. I mean, I don't know about that, but hey, I like the confidence. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Man, Aramis, I wanted to start this out today with you. I don't know if you saw this, but when we went live Friday, one of our subscribers brought this to our attention, and he said it, and of course we had to play it because I didn't hear about it. So of course I want to hear it first before I pass judgment or say my piece. So I'm going to play this for you. Maybe you already heard this take, which I feel is a terrible take. And I'm sure maybe you already know what I'm going to play, but let's go ahead and play it. Let's go ahead and do it. All right, here we go. Not sure if you saw this.
The big line is, are you wasting Josh Allen's prime years? Because Sean McDermott is the head coach. And there has been something to that. I just don't feel that this would be the offseason when you would see that move happen. So?
No. And I concur. Look, it's an idiotic narrative that is born out of people in the national media who have no clue what the local situation is. This guy, Sean McDermott, is going to bring the Bills to the playoffs for the 8th time in 9 years since he's been there. People seem to forget the 17 years before he came.
There it is.
However it was, 4 or 5 coaches never made the playoffs.
There it is.
People have really short memories. And who are Bills fans to be saying Super Bowl or bust? I mean, are you kidding me? Super Bowl or bust? You have the nerve to say that the coach is on the hook, Super Bowl or bust, or you fire him. I think it's the dumbest narrative. I get so sick and tired of dealing with it. At halftime last week, the Twitter crowd was all fire Sean McDermott, McDummy, everything else. The guy's a good coach.
Wow. Okay. Go ahead with your take first, and then I'll talk.
I want to let me see here really quick, because the architect of the team that went to the playoffs in 2017 was not Sean McDermott. In actuality, let me see something. What was his record? And this would have been what, 2020? No, 2013. That's right. Let me see.
We going back in time, baby. 2013.
Yeah. So at this point, Buddy Nix and Doug Whaley are picking the players. Doug Marrone takes over for Chan Gailey in 2013. Terry Pegula buys the team in 2014. Let's see what Doug Marrone's record was in 2014. So in 2014, when the team is purchased by Terry Pegula, the Bills go 9-7 under Doug Marrone.
Correct.
Okay. So let's analyze what actually happens from 2014 to 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Doug Marrone quits the following year because it's in his contract too. They don't have a quarterback at that point in time. He sees the writing on the wall. They're not going to be high enough to get one. It's probably going to be a struggle from here on out to maintain 9-7, which is the highest at that point in time we had seen the Bills ever get. Now, with what happens after Doug Marrone leaves, you enter into this space where this team that was showing promise now gets jumbled around and thrown into a 3-4 defense, and everybody is playing out of position. They're not, playing like they're supposed to be playing. You really start to benefit from everything that Tyrod Taylor and Shady McCoy was at that point in time, because they traded for him. And that's what kind of carried the Bills through the following 2 years under Rex Ryan. Still wasn't enough though, right? So here comes Sean McDermott and takes a team that back in just 3 years prior went 9-7. And what does he do? He goes 9-7. Woo! That is such an accomplishment. All he did was put the pieces back the way Doug Marrone had it and run it with a better quarterback, because Doug Marrone didn't have Tyrod Taylor back then. So again, the same exact record. Sean McDermott gets a better quarterback than Doug Marrone has, and both teams were in a situation where they needed help from other people to make the playoffs. Doug Marrone didn't get it. Sean McDermott did. So I hope my hope is that this particular section that I just broke down here, we can clip and throw right in the face of all three of those dudes and everybody else that wants to say that Sean McDermott has done. Sean McDermott did. The Bills did not reach real fiscal growth until 2021. I talked about this on my show last night. When you look at the numbers of how the team grew from $1.4 billion when it was purchased to now $6 billion this year, the real jump didn't happen until 2021, when they jumped from I think it was like 2.27 million or something like that to 3.4. Like, that was the biggest jump they had seen the entire time that Terry Pegula's been the owner here. Why did that happen? Because that was the year that Josh Allen had arrived for everybody. Everybody saw how he played in that game, and now it's you. That's your guy. That he's this, he's that. He's the best quarterback in the NFL. He's going toe to toe with Pat Mahomes. That's when you really started to see the respect fall on the Bills. That's when they were Super Bowl contenders every year. So again, none of that has anything to do with what Sean McDermott has done. Sean McDermott didn't even get back to the playoffs without Josh Allen. Sean McDermott didn't get to an AFC championship game without Josh Allen. So what are his accomplishments alone without the best quarterback in the NFL and the best playoff quarterback in NFL history? What is his record? You know what it is? It's 15-7 without Josh Allen. 15-7. You know who else went 15-7? Rex Ryan.
Great take, by the way. Ariola, does Sean McDermott survive the hot seat? Listen, I'm going to go on record as saying I think he gets another extension. I just do. I really do. I know it's crazy, and it's maybe not even a hot take. Maybe a lot of people probably already go, that's not a hot take. More than likely, it's going to.
Yep.
I think it is, because I think a lot of people think maybe Sean McDermott is kind of on a hot seat, or he'll get fired in another year or two. Like, listen, guys, his contract ends in 2027 after the 2027 season. That's right around the corner. That's literally 2 seasons away. So,
firing Bean is going to save him another, probably.
Yeah, and I think he probably does, because he's been throwing him under the bus more than ever. Also with Brady, and I also say this: if Brady doesn't leave for another job, he'll either get fired, or it's going to be mutual agreement, like mutual parting of ways, or he'll just take another job. More than likely, he'll take another job, but I don't think he'll be back either. He's another guy that McDermott's throwing under the bus, and rightfully so. I get it, but you don't do that way. And McDermott tends to do that publicly. He does that to his players as well. Certain players he throws under the bus as well. But going back to this, it's a terrible take. First of all, this guy Sal, I don't watch much of him. I know of him. But first of all, Sal, people can fan how they want to fan. 1, they can think what they want to think. 2, you don't have the right to tell anyone that we're idiots by thinking Super Bowl or bust. First of all, Sal, you want to talk about drought years. What didn't we have in the drought years? Sal, we didn't have a quarterback. Sal, right? I mean, come on, let's be real, right? When we talk about drought years, if we put Josh Allen on any one of those coaches, though, and I didn't even like most of them, but I promise you, we would have broken the drought at some point with Josh Allen, right? At some point. So I don't buy into the narrative that Sean McDermott's just, oh my gosh, Sean McDermott came here and he did it and he's so awesome. Like, no, man. If we don't get Josh Allen, Sean McDermott is being fired after 3 seasons. That's the reality. If Rex Ryan inherited Josh Allen, I know you guys hate the 3-4, doesn't matter. He would have figured it out. I feel like he's a better defensive-minded head coach than Sean McDermott anyways. How about that? I thought his Jets were way better on defense. That led him to 2 AFC championships. His defense alone led him to 2 AFC championships. Our defense alone has not led us to anywhere. So I don't even want to go to that point. So look, as long as you got a guy who's a one-of-one, Josh Allen's pretty much a one-of-one, guys. Let's be real. He's that special. You expect, and you should expect, greatness from this team. You should expect playoffs, and you should expect a Super Bowl. That's not unrealistic. What's unrealistic is us going, like, if Sal's take was in the drought years, I'd say, okay, yeah, he's right. Like, this team fucking blows. We have no quarterback, right? Why are we thinking we're even a playoff team? I would get that, and I'd stand behind that. I'd say, you guys are delusional. But guys, you have this special quarterback. Yes, yeah, I'm sorry that my thinking is we should be a Super Bowl caliber team. I apologize, Sal. Sorry. Like, that's a terrible, terrible, terrible take by him. And that's him just kissing Sean McDermott's ass is what it sounds like to me. Because any other coach, by the way, doesn't matter if it was fucking anybody. I don't care. I would have the same expectations. It has nothing to do with me not liking Sean McDermott or Bills fans being mad at Sean. We expect a Super Bowl because we have that special of a quarterback. Yes, it should be. And guess what? Bengal fans, they probably expect the same too.
Yep.
So come on, man. Of course we expect that. What are we, by the way, what should we expect, Sal? Should we just go into it? Like, I mean, honestly, should we just go into a season going, yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. We got Josh Allen. You know what?
Right. Let's just have a good season. Right. I mean, what is this guy thinking? So basically, low expectations. Guys, never have high expectations. That's a terrible, always low in life in general. Aramis, on your podcast, bro, low expectations. Just calm down on the high expectations. Okay, for you to think that you're going anywhere, it's absolutely crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, come on, low expectations. Keep them low, Air.
You know what this? You know what that sounds like? You know what that sounds like? That sounds like exactly what a business mind like Terry Pegula would want, right? Because when you look at the way that he's built this franchise up and built this brand up, the Bills went from the low, probably the first or second lowest brand awareness in the entire NFL to now a top 3 team in the NFL as far as brand awareness globally, not just nationally, globally, right? I think the Bills are. I saw a stat. This is probably like last year sometime that the Bills are like number 6 globally as far as like brands in the world, sports brands, right? Who would have ever thought little old us would come to this, this pedestal amongst all, sports teams to be anywhere near what Jerry Jones has done with the Cowboys. Right. But again, Jerry Jones and Terry Pegula are friends. They are part of a 12-person inner circle within the 32 NFL owners group that all hang out with Jerry and are all led by Jerry. This is not this mentality of, guys, we're making the playoffs 8 years in a row. What do you want? That's a business mindset. You know what that's good for? The bottom line. Because at that point, you're selling tickets. You're selling hope. People are believing that this super hard, to achieve thing is going to happen with us. Right. But that's not the goal, because when you look at the receivers we have, when you look at the defensive players we put on the field, none of that screams we're going for a championship. What that screams is we believe in the job Sean McDermott is doing, but we don't ask why. Why do you believe in that job? You believe in it because you've gone from $1.4 to $6 billion in the span of 4 years. And realistically, in the span of 4 years, is when it jumps the highest. But why is that? It's because of Josh Allen. It's not because of Sean McDermott, but nobody wants to talk about that. So okay.
Nope. Robert, Tommy, the defense has led the Bills out of the playoffs, and I would agree with that for the most part. There's only been a couple games where I say it was a total team loss or failure, but for the most part, it's been the defense. Bean does what McDermott tells him to, exactly, and I'll get into that in a minute. Sal puts a lot of blame on Bean, if you listen to his take. Okay, so first of all, Roy, and I get it, and everyone's going to have their take and opinion on this, and I get it, you know what I mean? And I'm not going to tell you what to think or whatever. And I'm not totally backing Bean. I'm upset with Bean. I think Bean's, I think he totally dropped the ball on the trade deadline. So that stuff like that, I don't forgive him for. I don't give him a pass on that when you have the opportunity. However, stop with the narrative that Bean just went behind McDermott's back and dropped his boy, Jamarcus Ingram. First of all, and I keep telling you guys this, Bean is not going to go around Sean McDermott and not tell him what's going on. That's one. I promise you. Whatever Bean's about to do, he definitely is talking to Sean McDermott on it. And if Sean McDermott didn't agree, you think that Bean would go, well, that's too bad. I'm doing it anyways. No fucking way. And
not when Sean hired him.
Not with Sean, exactly. Not the way this process was done. It ain't happening, right? If it was the other way around and Bean was the man in charge, Bean hired Sean McDermott, then yeah, maybe I could see that happening. Hey, pal, stay in your lane.
Right.
I'm the GM, but that's not the way it is. That's one. Two, if Jamarcus Ingram is so important, I mean, Sean McDermott was just like, that's my dude. That guy, he was UDFA. I made that dude. He's on the 53. He's active. You ain't. Why wasn't he playing? Why was he a scratch every single fucking game? Right? If he was so important, if he was such a, dude was close to my heart, man. I can't believe he did that. Stop it. He's been on the team for 2 or 3 seasons now, whatever it's been. I don't even know. He's been cut, waived, back on the practice squad, on the 53, but inactive, held scratch. Stop. Come on. When we needed a DB, you never mentioned him. You never put him up. He never was dressed during game days. So now we're supposed to feel bad that come on, man. And that's just the easy cop out.
Dime safety.
Yeah, that's a cop out of what happened. You don't want to be at fault. Oh, I that's Bean. That's my guy. I didn't want this. Stop. Because guess what? If Slay comes here, you hear none of that. None of that Ingram talk. I promise you. Not only that, to the Bills fans out there that are so upset about this, I guarantee you wouldn't have said shit if Slay was here. I promise you. You would never brung Ingram up. Sure. Nobody would have been like, oh, I can't believe we got rid of Ingram. Like, no,
they hate Trey
nobody.
White.
Yeah, never heard. And by the way, when that trade or that pickup initially happened, I didn't see one tweet, whatever you want to call it now, saying, I can't believe we got rid of Ingram. I can't believe it. Nobody said that. The only time that came up is when the Slay thing didn't happen. Then it was like, oh, Ingram, so special. Great time. Stop it, guys. Don't do that. Like, don't be a part of that that bullshit lie that McDermott wants you. And once again, everything that is happening goes through McDermott. If you don't believe it, I don't know what to tell you. That's my opinion. I'm going to stick to it. You guys can think what you want, but I promise you, everything goes through him. We got a super chat here. We'll get to it real quick. Thank you so much for that. Let me hit that, and here we go. There you go. All right. Zuzu, I'm late. Are you talking about Sal Capaccio? No, not Sal Capaccio. It's Sal... the fuck is his name? Sal Marino? Sal... I don't even know. It's Sal Mariona or whatever.
Yeah, some weird...
whatever his name is. Sal Capaccio... This guy... Sal Capaccio's an angel compared to this guy, what he has to say. And I'm not always on board with Sal Capaccio either, but my God, like that take there. Now, I'll tell you what, if he did the take where he was like, it's unrealistic because of the defense isn't very good. We have a lot of injuries. Yep. I might even go for that. I would go on board with that and be like, okay, yeah, I totally get that. Right. You know, the team's not right. We have a lot of injuries, receiver room. Like, if he was to dial more in about why it's unrealistic, I would go, okay. But instead of him going, you guys point the finger at Sean McDermott, it's unrealistic, and he's gotten to the playoffs. Bro, Sal, of course we should get into playoffs every year with Josh Allen. What are you talking about? Mm-hmm. Like, what is the point here? So the point, basically, like I'm trying to make, guys, is we can't, like, he is dogging us for having expectations of wanting a Super Bowl or expecting a Super Bowl at some point. We should just be happy with just getting into the playoffs because of the drought years. You don't want to go back to that. You guys were happy with, like, that's his narrative, and it's a stupid narrative. It's really bad because it's not even guys, forget the Bills. Any organization that was bad in the past, turned it around, and got special players, and fans now expect a championship. They don't care about the past. They don't give two fucks about the drought years anymore. You're living in the now, and the now is you got a very special talent. You expect a championship. Michael Jordan didn't go on the Bulls, and fans were like, "Wow, they lost to the Pistons, but I mean, I guess playoffs, the Bulls are doing over." No, come on, stop it, guys. Yep. Right? Same with Steph Curry. Every year, the Warrior fans, doesn't even matter how many. They still expect it because they have that talent on the team. They have a special player. Yep. So, of course, expectations should always be high. There's nothing wrong with that. So, I'm done with the conversation, but it's a spit in the face, in my opinion, to fans out there that want to believe one or have high expectations of this team. It's craziness. You should not do that. You shouldn't say that. But whatever. If you want to have low expectations for the rest of your life, I guess be that person. I don't know. Sal Capaccio, yeah, he's another one of those. I don't watch too much of him, I'll be honest with you guys, but he seems a little bit homerish. I don't watch too much, and I'm not going to say bad things about him. I'm talking about the other Sal guy, but whatever. All right, I don't know if you saw this too. I do got another thing. Now, this one, obviously, I kind of agree with here, because recently, who was it that came out and was talking about the Bills? Oh, Cassell. Did you watch the Cassell on Cowherd? I think you guys actually, okay. So I agree, like that. Okay, I get that, and I'm with that. Like that is a good take, and I'm 100% with that. Now here's Doug Flutie, former Buffalo
I love
Bills.
watching the Bills play. It's so much fun to watch, Josh. But they have holes in it. Their defense is not that great. They made some huge plays. Joe Burrow goes back-to-back interceptions. It's the only way that happened. They needed kind of a miracle thing to happen to turn that game around, and it did. I think that from top to bottom, the Patriots are a better football team, and they're more consistent. They've played smart football. They don't turn it over. They play really good defense. They can mix, run, and pass. The Bills' running game, not just Josh Allen running the ball, has been better. That made it a lot easier on Josh. But Josh Allen still has to do way too much for that team to win.
I really feel sorry for Josh Allen because the way things are looking, Hall of Fame, first ballot, but I don't see him getting the Super Bowl. They have so many things they need to change. Secondly, I can't believe that Doug has on the Patriots hoodie. It's usually the Bills, but now it's the Patriots. But that's a different story. But
I still have the Bills helmet on top of the Patriots.
No, Doug, you usually have on the Bills hat. Now you're switching. You're switching.
Yeah. It's bandwagon stuff. Go ahead.
Right. But it's time for the Patriots to get their rightful ownership of the AFC East back. They ran it for 11 years, 2009 to 2019. Tom Brady leaves. Josh Allen's in his third year. They rule it for 5 years. But now the Patriots are going to take it back.
All right, so that's that take. So look, and I totally. Let's get to this real quick before I go on my soapbox here. Thank you so much, Johnny Utah. KC fans are literally messaging me saying we should easily get to the Super Bowl this year with the top quarterback not in the AFC playoffs. Yet Sal says we shouldn't expect Super Bowl. Unreal, and that's a great point. Great point from Johnny Utah from Point Break, the movie Point Break. That is him. That's him, man. Johnny Utah. I agree with that, and I'll get to that in a second. But look, I'm totally on board with what really, what Doug Flutie is saying, what a lot of people are saying. I totally get it. Like this team is Josh Allen dependent. They have not treated him like a franchise quarterback. They haven't surrounded him with weapons or even good tools to work with. And it's crazy. And that's definitely on both Bean and McDermott. So I'm not going to totally put the blame on McDermott here. This is a them problem. But yeah, I agree. We are not a well-rounded team. We are a team with many, many, many flaws and holes, whatever you want to call them. But that kind of tells you how special Josh Allen is. For a team to still be where they're at right now, record-wise, right, at 9-4, right, that's impressive. Because any other quarterback, even if he's a good quarterback, even if he's, Baker Mayfield. Look at Baker Mayfield. Look at the Bucs. Look at the Bucs. And the Bucs have talent. They have better talent than us. And he's just not Josh Allen special. So their team is dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. With our team, and that goes to our point, when you have Josh Allen, you're making it to the playoffs. You're a 10-plus win team, I'm telling you, regardless of what's around him. That doesn't mean it's right. Imagine if they built around him. Imagine if they gave him better weapons. We probably would have had a Super Bowl, guys, by now. Probably, or damn near, or at least went to one. But back to that. And I'll get to you on this, Aramis. I agree with this take. And we went through the playoff scenarios Friday. I forget who asked. Was it Mikey who asked? Somebody who asked said, no, it was on my AFC Shakedown show. So they asked me, what is the one team that's in the current playoffs right now, like as we sit today, that scares you the most, right? That you wouldn't want to play, whatever scares you the most. And I'm looking. So you got Denver at 11-2. You got the Patriots at 11-2. You got Jacksonville at 9-4. You got Pittsburgh at 7-6. Chargers at 9-4. Obviously, the Bills 9-4. Houston at 8-5. That's where it sits. Those are the 7 teams. I picked the Texans. That a team that I wouldn't want to. That is the scariest right now in my eyes. Right. I think their defense is super elite. Like elite where Super Bowl elite. Like when we talk about defensive teams that won the Super Bowl, just primarily on their defense. The Ravens, the 1 year, with Ray Lewis and all them. The Tampa Bay Bucks, the 1 year they had Brad Johnson at quarterback. The 85 Bears, right? That, let's be real, that was really their defense. There's a few that was just defense oriented, but it's rare. It's usually, that doesn't often happen.
Yeah.
With this Texans team, they're on that level. I mean, they are consistently playing good defense. This isn't like a one every other game. They're shutting teams down. They're a dominant defense that could possibly carry them. Outside of that, though, I would say the second team would be the Patriots because I feel like they are the most well-rounded out of the bunch. Okay. But I'm not scared of Denver. I don't like their offense. I like their defense, but I still don't think it's Texans level defense. And I'm not a fan of their offense at all, right? So I feel like they are beatable. I'm not a big Bo Nix fan either. Jacksonville, they're so up and down. I don't fear them at all. Pittsburgh, obviously, come on, Pittsburgh's so limited. I don't fear them at all. The Chargers, we know what the Chargers do in the playoffs. They are also a team that just doesn't show up. No fear there. So outside of that, honestly, that's my take. I would say the Texans, and second would be the Patriots. And honestly, if you're not a Bills fan, I would go Texans, Bills, Patriots in that order of teams that you are probably the teams you don't want to see. Now, if the Chiefs get in, I will totally mix that. I would probably put the Chiefs, to be honest with you guys, probably number 2 because they are still that team. So, what's your take on that? On the current standings?
So my first team right now, and this is gonna, I'm probably gonna take some heat for this. It's the Colts. I think the Colts right now are the team that the Bills need to fear the most. And
that's a hot take.
Yeah. Well, here's the reason. Phillip Rivers was running this offense in high school. The high school team that he was coaching, he's running this offense there. Him and Shane Steichen talk about this offense all the time. He comes on and you don't have to worry about an adjustment period. It's really just a ramp up, a period physically for Phillip Rivers. So you got a guy who can process the game in the way that Phillip Rivers can and has, which is actually better than how Daniel Jones processes the game, because realistically, that's Daniel Jones's issue when it comes to playing the quarterback role. He's
maybe Aramis. Maybe. I get where you're going, and I agree with that, by the way. I do. If you're talking about a guy that reads defenses better, I've seen it all. I am 100% with that. However, the one thing I will say to kind of, he's been out of the game a long time. That's 2020. He's 44 years old. This isn't like he's been out of the game a couple years and he's only 30, right? Let's 32. He just took a little break. Let's say Andrew Luckish or whatever. Then I would go, okay, physically, he's still probably got it, right? Father time hasn't really hit him hard yet. But 44, been out the game a long time, he only had 1 week of practice, so no off. It's not like he's had this off season where he's moving around and chucking it and getting hit and just doing all of the normal things that a regular NFL or even a football player would be ready for. Like, even there's guys that are available that haven't been picked up yet. Let's say I'll throw out like OBJ or something. Like, those guys are constantly working. They're busting their ass in the offseason just because, hey, they feel like they're still young and you never know. And, right, they're staying in game shape. Rivers was not really. I saw he was more of a coaching. I think he was doing some coaching with his kid or something. You could kind of see his body is a little bit like a dad body right now with the beer gut. I would say when you get to that age and you're not really still at a high level of working out and preparing yourself like a Tom Brady. Let's say Tom Brady, right? Who was always physically, when he got older, he got better in shape. And that's why he lasted so long. And that's why, he wasn't really taking hits a lot because his offense a lot. Like, this is a different thing, right? Totally different. And I feel like Father Time is caught up to Rivers. I feel like. And when that happens, your reads are a little slower. I mean, if you look at Aaron Rodgers, right, and he's a prime. And Aaron Rodgers has been playing, but Aaron Rodgers, for me, the knock on him that I have is, as he got older, and it's showing, he goes through reads a little bit slower, right? A little bit slower to process. He doesn't move a lot in the pocket like he used to. He was really good at mobility in the pocket. He can move up, move side to side, and make you miss. Phillip Rivers is not going to have that. He's not going to have that, what he once had. Maybe mentally he feels like he does, but anyone who, when you get to that age, mentally as you think you can, but physically you're not the same. So that's my concern when it comes to Rivers.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but here's what helps to overcome that. See, your point is based on the thought process that Phillip Rivers is going to be alone in this. Right? If you're putting Phillip Rivers in a vacuum and you're lining him up against Father Time, of course he's gonna lose. I'm with you on that. But the issue here is that Phillip Rivers is going into this situation where Shane Steichen has already worked with Jalen Hurts. So if we want to sit here and compare the minds of a Phillip Rivers and Jalen Hurts, I'll take Phillip Rivers every time. I'll take his ability to process the game at 44 over Jalen Hurts and what he's been doing this year without an offensive coordinator like Shane Steichen helping him out through that process. Because let's be realistic about it. The two times that the Eagles got to a Super Bowl, it was under Shane Steichen as OC, and then the guy who's now running the show in New Orleans as his OC. He's never done it without a really, really elite offensive mind behind him running the offense and making things easy for him. So all that is to say, Phillip Rivers is not entering into a situation where he has to carry this team. My identifier, I guess, of how I'm the foundation I'm building this point on has consistently been, all he's got to do is go in there and play point guard. He doesn't have to take a shot at all. You hand the ball off to Jonathan Taylor. If you that's going to keep you in third and shorts. You can throw a slant all day long. You can throw the ball to Tyler Warren, who's been getting open all day long underneath. They have weapons for him to just easily get the ball to. Not only that, but when you combine that with Shane Steichen's ability to scheme things up and make it easy for the quarterback, I'll take that all day long. That means Phillip Rivers doesn't have to be Phillip Rivers of, 35, 36, 37 years old, where he's still making plays. He just has to do enough with that defense, with that offensive line. And this is really the point that stands above everything. I would take the Colts as the biggest challenge in the playoffs right now, from top to bottom, with how they line up against the Bills. Because to me, the issue here for the Bills is their defense. It's offensively, if they let Josh be Josh, we've seen what they can do. They can unlock some things, they can unleash some things, and we will see some fireworks happen. But defensively, they have not had an answer. And what Doug Flutie said is absolutely right. Without those two plays from Benford and Jordan Phillips tipping the ball and Epinesa catching it, we don't win that game. So the issue for the Bills in the playoffs this season is not whether or not, the offense can get going. We know that when Sean needs to, he takes the reins off of Josh Allen and goes. And him and Brady are able to scheme some things and do some things offensively to just make it happen, right?
Right.
But defensively, it's been the most consistent issue in the playoffs. You're playing a team that can run the ball when you're quite possibly the worst team in the NFL against the run. Not just personnel wise, but schematically at the same time. And then you also factor into that you've got a quarterback that your biggest thing that you do on defense is what Greg Cosell calls changing the picture after the snap. They'll show you one thing pre-snap, and as soon as the ball is snapped, they get into some different formational stuff with their coverages. If that's your best trick and you have no pass rush, Phillip Rivers is going to carve you up all day.
So here's my take. One, I don't think they're making the playoffs at all. I think the loss of Daniel Jones, the Colts, they're not making the playoffs. So I'll tell you why. No, they're not. They're in the 8th spot. They're not in the playoffs right now. They lost 3 in a row. So as we sit right now, under the standings on the playoffs, the 7th spot is Houston. So right now it's Denver, New England, Jacksonville, Pittsburgh, Chargers, Bills, Texans. Colts are in the 8th spot. They're on the outside looking in. So with that being said, if you go into the Colts, right, with the remaining games they got left, right? And here, and this is, and I get what you're saying, that you're going to turn Philip Rivers into a game manager, which you should, right? I get that, and that's the safest bet, right? But Rivers, now, once you do that, though, you're kind of, defenses now know more than likely, you're not doing what you were doing before with your passing game, right? You're not taking the, longer shots downfield, et cetera, et cetera. You're more kind of almost one-dimensional in the run game. And here's my problem. Even when Daniel Jones was still the quarterback of the Colts, when they had to rely on their passing game, and by the way, we should know this really, really well because it happens here in Buffalo. When the running game gets stopped or contained, we have a really, really tough time. And that's with Josh Allen, right? And I get what you're saying. They have better weapons and all that stuff. So, they make it a little bit easier on their quarterback. But when you made it into a Daniel Jones game, Daniel Jones had some rough games, right? For the Colts, right? When it was on Daniel Jones. Now, if you go into the Colts' remaining schedule, okay, they have the Seahawks at Seattle. That's today. I don't think they're beating Seattle today. I do not. At Seattle, who's playing really good football, good defense, good offense. Philip Rivers had 1 week of practice, right? So I'm going to give him a pass here, okay, on Rivers. Let's say he doesn't have the best performance. They lose. It's 1 week of practice. Okay, if you're a Colts fan, you kind of maybe expect that. But then you're home against San Francisco, who is still a good team. Now, that could go either way. You're home against Jacksonville. Once again, I think that's a game that can go either way. Jacksonville's not like a total pushover, but they're beatable. And then you're at Houston to end the season. So I feel like with the remaining schedule, they're losing today, in my opinion, which they dropped to, that would make their record 8-6. In my opinion, I think they lose one of these 2 games at home against 49ers Jags. They may beat one of them, right? So they go to 9-6, and I think they lose against the Texans at Houston. And the reason why, too, it's at Houston 1, and Houston's probably going to be fighting for that last playoff spot, that 7th spot, more than likely. They may move up to 6, maybe, but they're going to be fighting for positional. They're not going to. They're going to take that game serious. They're not going to be benching players. This isn't a game where they already won the division or they're locked up or whatever. So I don't think 9 games are going to get the Colts in, especially down the stretch here. They have lost to many teams here. Where's that schedule again? Where did I pull up the schedule? They lost to the Texans already once, so they're not jumping them, right? If they lose to them, they lost to the Jaguars already. Right, so they lost to the Steelers. They lost a lot of AFC games. You get what I'm saying? So they're going to probably not have some tiebreakers. So 9 wins may not get you in. I don't see them going 10.
So here's the scenario where they do get in. I understand what you're saying, but that again, that's assuming the Colts are in a vacuum and no other spots open up, right? The Chargers are going to fall out. The Chargers right now are going into Kansas City with all of the injuries that they have, and the Chiefs still really have a shot at making the playoffs. That's going to be a tough game for the Chargers. They're not going to win that game in Kansas City. They beat the Chiefs in what was supposed to be a home game for the Chargers, and quite frankly, overwhelmingly in favor of the Chargers in that away game in week 1 or whatever. Okay. On top of that, the Chiefs had never seen this offense from the Chiefs had never seen this offense from the Chargers. So they kind of, they got introduced to that first week of the season. Usually week 1 is when you find, most teams that are, pretty good or have good, a lot of good players get, taken over by a team that's, up and coming or something like that. It's more of a surprise. That's beside the point. The point is the Chargers have to go into Kansas City. Then they have to go into Dallas for a shootout, which they can't win because they don't do well in shootouts. Then they have the Texans coming to town after that. Then they finish in Denver. So if there's a team that's going to fall out of grace in playoff favor, it's going to be the Chargers. That's where the spot opens up for the Colts. As far as the Colts schedule goes, Sam Darnold really has not played that well the last few weeks of the season, right? And when you go and you look at his, let me see. So,
but maybe what if the Chiefs jump the Colts though?
What? But didn't the Colts beat the Chiefs?
Yeah, but record wise, it doesn't matter if they go record wise, they could still win out.
No, because after before they even get to record, they have to go through AFC record, and the Colts.
No, not unless the Colts win the division.
Yeah, but the Chiefs are not going to have a better record than the Colts. The Colts have the 49ers coming on that for that Monday night game. That's a win for the Colts.
So you think 9 will get you think 9 wins will do it for the Colts?
Absolutely. Why couldn't it?
I just feel like there's a lot. I don't think so.
Mathematically, the Bengals, if they had beaten us, could have gotten into the playoffs.
No, and they still can. They still can by standings wise.
So all I'm saying
standings,
So I mean, we can talk about likelihood, but for me, you may not see all of the different possibilities that exist with this Colts team and what they'll be able to do offensively that they couldn't do with Daniel Jones, but when you look at what the Chargers have to go through, they're going to fall out. If the Chiefs, what's the Chiefs schedule?
But that's if, and we're going to say, and I'm going to throw this too, though, and I get what you're saying, but you're going on past experience, though, with Rivers, and I get it, but we have no idea yet, right? I would say this before, and maybe I'll get on board with what you're saying. Right, once I see Rivers play, we have no idea yet. Right, the dude could go out there and throw his arm out in the first quarter. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest with you. 44 years old, hasn't played a physical game since 2020. You have no idea like what to expect. You get what I'm saying? Like that's the biggest question mark. I get where you're going. You're going with hey, I remember Rivers. That dude's I get it. But we haven't seen this dude on a physical, and then let's say he doesn't work out. Let's say he gets hurt. Let's say he's terrible. Let's say he's not. Let's just say he just can't. It's he realizes, man, yeah, maybe this isn't for me, right? And it's very possible, very possible. So what, right? Let's say they don't. Let's say they're terrible the next 2 games. Mm-hmm. I think you'll have probably change of thought there. I'm just being honest with you. If they get whooped, let's say Seattle whoops them up. Right? Let's say they go home, they get whooped up at San Francisco. Are you going to still be going, right? They don't have a problem here? Because I really feel like defenses are going to hone down, stack the box, and force them to pass. And I don't think that short game, because I'm really going on what we do. And I don't think once you make a team one-dimensional where they have flaws, and the flaw will be, I got to be honest with you, Phillip Rivers being 44 and being out of the game for 5 years almost. That's a major flaw. I don't think you really realize how bad that is. Like that, I'm very curious about today. Put it that way. I'm very curious about how Rivers moves in the pocket, how he goes through his reads. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna see a lot. If Rivers is on point today, meaning he's going through his reads, he's getting the ball out of his hand, maybe then I could change my mind on what I feel like Rivers can do. But right now, dude, I just don't see it. I don't, man, and I don't even know if they win a game. I'm being nice about the splitting the 1 or 2, but they could definitely lose those 2 games at home. And I don't think they beat Houston, and I know they don't beat Seattle. I would be. Would you be? Who do you have winning today? Seattle or Colts?
I got the Colts winning.
Wow. Okay, so that'll be interesting. So that's boy. Aramis is coming up with some hot takes. By the way, real quick, because we haven't answered some of these chats. And Robert, I apologize, and that's why I kept it on the screen. Tommy and Aramis, what is the story with Andre Jones Jr.? I'll be honest with you, I know nothing about him. So, I'll give it to Aramis. Aramis might have some more on him.
Yeah, so Andre's not even his real name. His real name is Gerald Jones Jr. He came out of Louisiana. We picked him up off of the Commanders practice squad. 6'5", 258. This is year 2 for him. He was a 7th round pick in 2023 for the Commanders, and he's been on their practice squad the entire time. This is one of those, depth moves where they're trying to get a young guy in. And this is kind of crazy. He's 27 years old. So I mean the transfer portal is real. He was a 2023 draft pick and he's 27 years old already.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah.
So,
that is wild, dude.
Yeah, so but this is just a depth move. This is, we got to get guys in and start integrating them into our system in case we have more injuries, and we got to have bodies to throw at the other team. So not really anything spectacular. He's got no sacks. He's played in.
Right. He's just a plug-in for today, basically, or plug-in in the side. Real quick, and I know, and this conversation is getting a little bit old about the whole, because Roy is really adamant about who's controlling the 53, and I'll say this, Roy. You know why I know that, and I'm agreeing with Johnny here about because he said McDermott has control. Stop, Roy. Look. I'll take you back down memory lane. I forget what the year was. It 20? I don't remember the year. 2021, 22, something like that. We had a guy named Wyatt Teller on this team, offensive lineman, and couldn't find a spot on the team.
How'd that work?
Goes over to Bean and tells him, I don't need the guy, so either cut him or try to trade for him. I don't think that was Bean's decision. You know why I know it wasn't? Because Bean came out and said, yeah, last time I listened to somebody, on that. So I don't know if that was a dig at McDermott or a dig at Bobby Johnson at the time. Probably more of a dig on Johnson, but maybe a slight dig at McDermott. But if you don't think that is true, there it is. How about him getting Poona Ford? And I don't know. McDermott said, no, I'm not going to dress the guy. So don't say that he has no control of the 53. Of course he does. Mm-hmm. He goes to Bean and says, Wyatt Teller's not working. I have no use for him because my great offensive line coach, Bobby Johnson, the guy I brought on board, says he's no good. Get rid of him. You think that was Brandon Bean? Because I didn't hear McDermott complaining about that. Did you hear McDermott say anything about the great old Wyatt Teller? Did he go on the podium and be like, man, I can't believe we got... But he'll go on the podium for a guy he doesn't even play in Jamarcus Ingram. Right. Didn't bitch about the guy that's an all-pro offensive lineman and Wyatt Teller. Boy, you dropped the ball there, didn't you, McDermott? But you didn't say anything then, right? Oh, nobody's fault. That's not my fault. Go look at the GM. He made the decision. Get the fuck out of here. Guys, that's what I'm trying to tell you, Roy. Everything goes through the 53 is all McDermott. Now, does Bean go out and get certain guys maybe that you want to blame on the free agency? Sure, I'm kind of on board that a little bit, right? I get that part. But drafting rounds 1 through 3 or round 1 through 4 or something like that is definitely McDermott and Bean together. They're making the final decision, and McDermott really ultimately is the guy that's really going, I'm on board with it. Let's do it, right? I'm 100%. I know that for a fact. Free agency maybe a little different, but I could promise you McDermott tells him, hey, I want this type of player. Go look for these types of players. I don't want a guy that's going to be a bad cultural fit, blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you, I don't want a one tech. I want this kind of player. I want fast. I want undersized. I want whatever. So, and now, and I do blame Bean on the extensions. I'll give him. So now we're limited in cap. So of course, I want this kind of player, this kind of player. So now Bean going, damn, I only have this much to work with. I'm going to have to get that kind of player, but at that kind of salary. So I can't get the best 3-tech, but I'll get the affordable 3-tech. Or I can't get the best receiver for this everybody eats, but I'll get the best option available in the cap that I have available. But I do put that on Bean. I'll admit, right? The extensions are not the greatest. They have not worked out. James Cook has, Josh Allen has, but there's some that are terrible. However, to kind of give him a little bit, defend him a little bit, Sean McDermott still okays that as well because he goes to Brandon Bean and says, I want this guy back. I want Milano back. I want Bernard signed. Yes, I want Bedford here because why would he not? Why would he? Trust me, guys. If he went to Bean and goes, "Yo, Brandon, I just don't see it for Bernard. I gotta be honest with you. Let's just kind of like let him play out his rookie year. We'll see how he does in his 5th year or 4th year, and then we'll give him the extent." He could do it like that, and Bean would have no trust. Bean is not going, "Fuck you, McDermott. I like this guy so much. We're signing this side of an extension. I don't care what you say." That's not how it works, guys. I promise you. Because if he did that, he'd be fired. McDermott would have let him go. Right? So that's why I'm trying to tell you guys, I'm not saying Bean's perfect, but this is ran through McDermott. And if you think otherwise, you're wrong. And now, once again, it's an opinion, and I'm not going to kill you on it, but I promise you guys, that's how it's ran. And this is not just a McDermott thing. This is ran throughout the NFL. Coaches do have say. You know, you're not going to KC and Andy Reid's going, I have no say. I don't know. The GM just gives me guys here. Like, that's not how it works. So, that's I'm going to stick with that, and that's that.
Roy's tripping right now. Roy is tripping right now.
Yeah, is he? Oh, Roy. What's he saying now?
He said nobody batted an eye when Teller was traded. More BS. I don't know how you can say that. I mean, if you're talking about the moment he was traded, nobody knew anything about it. Okay, fine. But once we saw him playing in Cleveland, it's like, wait a second, we had that guy. How come you couldn't get that out of him? That doesn't mean that his value was diminished here. That doesn't mean he was a bad player here. You just didn't figure out how to use him the right way. It's the same thing with the players that we have now. You have Keon Coleman. We're bashing the mess out of Keon Coleman. He can't separate. He can't this. He can't whatever. Every scout you heard talk about Keon Coleman said power slot. Why have we not tried that yet? That's the problem. That's how you end up with moves like Wyatt Teller. That's why it's okay if we talk about this stuff. It's not BS.
Okay, and to counter that too, who hired Bobby Johnson and stuck with Bobby Johnson as your offensive line coach that couldn't get Wyatt Teller to play at a high level like he played in Cleveland? Who reported back to Sean McDermott, who still has say on the 53 and who plays, that Wyatt Teller is not good enough to play on this team to trade him? So I don't know. I don't buy into that. And I get your point. Like, we didn't know, but why didn't we know is the question. It's a terrible, they should know. And I would blame guys, like, you need to know what you have in the room. You better. And you also need to know, okay, he's a project player. I like this. I think I can get the best out of him. Why do you think Bobby Johnson's no longer here? Why do you think Aaron Cromer has gotten this offensive line to play way better, right? To bring in guys that he can get better. Spencer Brown is no surprise that Spencer Brown has turned it around since Aaron Cromer got here, right? He got the one-on-ones. That's what they do. Bobby Johnson was terrible, but yet McDermott chose to stick with him for as long as he did. They chose to get rid of Wyatt Teller. They chose to get rid of Quentin Spain at the time, which was our best option, and benched him, and then cut him and got nothing for him. Like, guys, trust me. Roy, I get what you're saying. You want to stick to that narrative, that's fine, but I'm sticking with mine, and that's all on coaching. That's not knowing what you have in the building. That's 100% on Sean McDermott and Bobby Johnson. So, yeah, I just... Nobody batted an eye when Teller was traded. No, you know what? I cared because I thought Wyatt Teller was actually pretty good when he got his opportunities. So that's a lie, at least for me. I mean, I get what you're saying. Maybe not many fans were all up in arms about it, but at the end of the day, guess who was? The Buffalo Bills. They knew they fucking dropped the ball. Yep. But who's the one guy that didn't step up and say, I fucked that up? Because Brandon Beane owned up to it. He went up to the podium and said, yeah, you know what? Last time I listened to somebody else, I'm not going to make that mistake again. At least he owned up to it. When has Sean McDermott owned up to anything, guys? Anything. Name one time. One fucking time he owned. Did he own up to 13 seconds? He doesn't even talk about it.
Not at all.
You know what he did? He fired people.
Mm-hmm.
So come on, man. It's crazy that the people that want to like stick up for him like he's this honest, humble guy. Like, By the way, I got into reading into that article because I really didn't. I read bits and pieces of that Tyler Dunne article.
Oh,
but I've been
started it.
I started because I've been bored at work, and I'm like, it's a long art. It's long.
28,000 words.
Yeah, so it is wild, and I I'm not. Look, I'll say this. I'm sure there's some stuff that's taken a little bit out of context, or maybe a little bit, maybe some of it's maybe not true, and that's like every article, right? Every movie, even that's a documentary about. I'm sure there's a little bit that's a little bit overboard or not taken, but I promise you, a lot of it's accurate, and it's an interesting read. And you know why I think a lot of it's accurate? Because I've watched the guy coach for years. I've been talking about. I've been seeing it. So if I was seeing it different, I'd be like, Aramis article, I don't know. I don't see. I agree with a lot of it. There's some that I'm like, okay, it's a little bit like tacky, like it's not a big deal to me. But there's a lot, guys, in that article, and I just go look it up on Google. It's up there. You can find it. It's wild stuff. Like I said, there's a few guys in there like, hey, I like them. There's some good stuff in there about them, but overall, whoo.
Wait till you get to part 2. It gets better.
Yeah, I only run part 1. It's wild. Anyway, so we're done with that. I'm not going to stay on that. Let's get to some of the chat because I've been missing some of it. Post-podium, damn it, Roy. That's you, huh? Roy, damn Roy. Coaches have a lot of say on the roster. They have a lot. They have most say on the roster. Yep. And by the way, Weston is a Chiefs fan. Been a subscriber here for a while. Appreciate you, Weston. Andy Reid has a total say of what's on the roster. Exactly. Absolutely he does. You damn real. Because if his GM went behind his back and did something he didn't, the GM will be gone, right? 100%. Out the fucking door. Yep. That's one thing you can't have, guys. I will say this. In sports, if you want to be successful in any type of, a sport, basketball, like a team sport, there's a chain, right? And they all have to link up. They all have to, it can't be a broken it can't be a broken link in that chain, right? So you got ownership, GM, and coach, right? Then you got the players, right? But if anything in that chain is broken, right? Any link is wrong, right? Let's say Bean doesn't agree with McDermott's way, it's not going to work. It's going to be a disaster, right? Bean and McDermott right now are still fine, but you can see that link breaking. You could kind of see it starting to break there because McDermott's kind of starting now to, like I got to put the blame somewhere else, right? I have to shift it. And Bean is like just, hey, I think at this point, Beans is probably going to have to move on, to be honest with you. And then the ownership is fine because I'll be honest with you, he kind of just stays out of the way, and that's okay. But my problem with that is, by the way, I've always been on board with the ownership staying away as long as you got the right guys that will come back and report to you and say, hey, this is not working. Problem is he doesn't have that guy. That's my only issue with Terry Pegula. I don't mind him staying away, but you have to have the guy that reports back that is above Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane to go, hey, listen, man, I know I'm your guy. You know that. You have faith in me. I'm the guy that, that tells you the ins and outs here. Sean McDermott right now is we're having a problem here, right? Or Brandon Beane, or it's not really working, Terry. Maybe we need he doesn't have that. You know who's reporting back to him is Sean McDermott. It's the wrong guy, right? Like you can't have your head coach reporting back, right? Of course he's going to throw Beane under the bus. He's the one that hired Beane, right? So this is why I feel like he's going to get his extension, right? Who's there to tell Terry, Sean McDermott's kind of, he's kind of throwing people under the bus and not really, no, he doesn't have that in his ear. So that's my only problem with Terry at that part. I don't mind him being away or not understanding the game of football, but you have to have a guy that understands the game that's above Sean McDermott to tell you, report back, hey, maybe there is maybe we need to move on. And he doesn't have that. And we got a problem. That's a major problem here. And that's why I feel like he's not going anywhere. McDermott apologist out in force again. Yeah, and it will be. It's sad, but it's true. True, I never heard McDermott take blame. No, not. Bro, never. Russ Brandon kind of ruined that. Look at it. Yeah, best viewer of Stripping. At the end of the day, I believe the whole regime needs to go. We're pretty sure that's not happening. See, okay, so here's my take on that real quick. I wouldn't even mind that. Like, for as much as I stick up for Brandon Beane, if that were to need to be the case, I would be okay with that too. Even though I wouldn't mind Beane staying and getting a new head coach. But if that's what it took, meaning, hey, if we cut one, they all got to go. Okay, I'd be fine with that. I wouldn't sit over here and be like, oh, I can't believe it. Like, totally okay with it. But if I were to have it my way, I think Sean McDermott would need to go. You keep Beane at least around a couple more years. You get a new head coach and see how Beane drafts then. See what Beane kind of player free agency brings in then, right? Because if Brandon Beane with a new head coach brings in the same type of talent, the same type of player, the same type of free agent, then I would say, hey, okay, maybe he just doesn't get talent, right? But I don't believe that to be the case. I believe if you got a new head coach that with a new philosophy, new way of different type of player that he likes in his locker room, or best fits his scheme, I think you would totally see a totally different draft class, totally different pair of signings of free agents. So that's my opinion. I'll stick to it. We do got a super chat. Let's hit that real quick. Thank you so much, Rakeef. Tommy, facts, we don't have a president of football operations. It's a problem. Like, nobody talks about that when we talk about, like, ownership, GM, and who's really running things here. And that's why me and Aramis are so, and even my co-host Mikey, it's Sean McDermott, guys. That is the biggest fucking problem we have here. And I don't think Sean McDermott's a terrible coach either. I think he's a good coach, but he's limited. He's limited on the championship level of coaching, right? And that is where we want to be, right? So if our owner doesn't have a guy to report that to him and say, hey, it's been 10 seasons, it's been 11 seasons, maybe we need a move. It's not going to happen. Terry's just going to go on business. And what's business say? Money. Asses in seats, right? Like playoffs, right? We're still a winning team. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's all he knows. He's a business guy. It makes sense, right? He's not a guy, for as much as I'm sure he loves Buffalo, and I watched that whole, I don't know if you watched it, they have a new stadium video up. Did you watch that at all?
No.
Okay, so they have a new stadium video. By the way, stadium, I can't wait. Badass. I mean, dude, it's so, the things they're doing in that stadium, guys. Dude, Aramis, I'm envy of you because you're going to be able to go there, and it's going to take me a couple years before I really get down there where it's affordable. But my God, dude, that it is awesome to see that thing being built and what they're going to have available. But they were talking about one of the guys there, the guys building the stadium or whatever. He's like, Terry wants this to be Buffalo, the tradition of the culture of the city, and he wants the outside to look like old buildings of Buffalo, and I'm like, so I get it, you know what I mean? I understand Terry's all about Buffalo, but I also know the realistic side where he's a great business guy. He loves, he's really good with the money side of things. But if you look at the Sabres, and I'm not a big hockey fan, but I know what's going on there, right? He just doesn't understand the sports side of things, right? He gets the business side of things. He doesn't understand the sports side of things. Yep. And that's why he needs somebody in charge to take that on. I'll give you another example. The Detroit Pistons, when we were bought out by Tom Gores, or whatever the fuck his name, I think it's Tom Gores, lived in Michigan for a little, by the way, no longer, lives in sunny California, bought the team super cheap, by the way. Team's worth like 10 times his money, maybe even more now, right? Because the owner, Davison, died. The daughter took over and said, hey, I want nothing. I don't want any part of it. And that's fine. But she sold the team to this guy he's a business guy. He's not a sports guy. And what did he go do? He fired everyone there who brought the team to great success, fired them all, Joe Dumars, all of them, brung in a guy that was not even a GM. He was a assistant to the GM. He was just a guy that was a filler. For years, we had no active GM. It was just a guy that would report back. Terrible. We were a laughing stock. And until he finally got somebody, and it took him like years to finally figure out, oh, maybe I need some GM. Then you saw, we don't need you, Tom Gorse. Now we got a guy that can report back to you. He knows what he's doing. He knows sports. And right now, I feel like that's our problem, man, at this team. And that's Terry Blue's problem. He probably just doesn't have the right guys in place above those guys that tell him, you got to make it. You got to do this, or you got to do this, or this. Hey, we're on year 9. Hey, we're on year 10. Maybe we got to have that talk, right? And, and maybe Kim, guys, was that person. She was, football operations at one point. She's not that anymore. I feel for her. I do. But I'll be honest with you, when the whole Kim thing happened, Aramis, I think Terry should have went out and got somebody to take charge. At that point, you needed to do what's right for the Buffalo Bills and the fan base, and you didn't, right? You kind of just said, hey, Sean, Kim, and I need you to kind of, right? You and Bean. I'm sure it was a you and Bean thing. You and Bean, but we all know the truth, right? Yep. So anyways, I'm done with that. We've been on here a long time. 12. What time is it, Aramis? 12:20 almost. Let's talk about the game. Yeah. I feel for you guys. You guys are like, yeah, this fucking bitching show. I'm fucking complaining. Let me get to some of your chats real quick because I feel bad. I don't mean to miss them. Tommy, you think of if the Bills are a wild card, they could do damage in the playoffs. I think we will because we have Josh Allen, but I think McDermott will mess it up. Example 13 seconds. So, yeah, I will say this, and Aramis, I'll get your take on this.
Okay.
If the Chiefs don't make the playoffs, and I'm not going to count them out yet. I don't care what their record is, but if the Chiefs don't. In Baltimore, I could care less. Baltimore is, for some reason, Lamar. So I'm just going to say the Chiefs, if the Chiefs don't make it, boy, the Bills could potentially, even for as bad as this team, defensively and just not very good passing game, this could be a year where the Bills could sneakily get into the Super Bowl because there's a lot of guys right now that are just our first timers, right? Big lights. It's a different game when you get in the playoffs. It's different, right? And I would bet on the guy that's been there the most experienced, because say what you want about this Bills team, but the only team that ever really give us fits for the most part has been the Chiefs, who are Super Bowl winners. Pretty much year in, year out through the playoffs. It tells me that the Bills can get through the wild card. They most of the time then get through a division game if the Chiefs aren't the division. You know what I mean? So I would take my experienced quarterback who's been there, done that, hostile environments, tough game, you know what I mean, over a Bo Nix, over a Justin Herbert, over even a May who's playing phenomenal. But the playoffs are a different animal. It's just different. So I would, in a way, I agree with that take. What's your take on that? Just in general on how we sit today.
On how we sit today?
Yeah, like with the current teams, with the young quarterbacks. Like, what would you know what I mean? Like, with his take going, hey, this could be. Yeah, like, let's say the Chiefs don't make it. Let's count the Chiefs out for now.
Yeah.
So the current, and the Colts, because I know you're high on the Colts, but as we sit, the Colts are not a playoff team. They're the 8th spot. So as we sit today, we got a lot of young quarterbacks, basically, right? Except for maybe Herbert, right? Which Herbert hasn't been the greatest either in the playoffs. So as we sit, the current, like, what would you say to that take where, Josh is the more experienced. Josh has been there the most.
I don't think any of that matters.
You don't think that matters? Okay. See, I do. I do.
I get what you're saying, and that I guess maybe I shouldn't say it that way, and that it just doesn't matter at all. But I'll say it like this: I don't think that's going to be the defining factor when it comes to these matchups. You know what I'm saying? Because realistically, I was working last night till about 3 a.m, and I had two separate people ask me this. They asked, don't the Bills have the easiest path they've ever had to a Super Bowl this year more than others? And to that, I said, no, because if you think about the teams that the Bills have to go through to get to a Super Bowl now, and yeah, we're only going to play 3 teams on the way, but there are currently 4 teams in the playoffs right now that are top 10 defenses in the NFL. So when we're thinking about the path, okay, we were thinking about last year, we were thinking about the Ravens, the Chiefs, and whatever throwaway team we play in the divisional round.
Broncos, I think we played.
Well, yeah, but again, that's their first time in the playoffs.
I get it. Yeah.
With their head coach and all that kind of stuff. First year quarterback. We did exactly what we were supposed to do to that team. And for the Broncos this season, their defense is more experienced. They're better against the run. Their quarterback has still shown that he's still young. You can still take advantage of him. And in the playoffs, where it's a much more intense atmosphere for a young quarterback dealing with everything that they're dealing with in that setting, it's still a benefit for tenured teams like the Bills. Now, here's where it gets sticky, because Josh Allen should be the reason you win games, but that's only when he has enough weapons around him to get the job done and a scheme that allows him to do that. So that's why I put so much emphasis on the defenses that we're going to face, because it isn't just, throw Josh Allen, and this offense into the playoffs and let them loose. No, these guys still have to be able to get open. Josh has still got to be able to find somebody without having to run for his life for 10 minutes and then throw a miraculous pass somewhere and do that the entire game. It's so unrealistic to expect that the Bills are just going to be able to flip a switch and turn it on in the playoffs. Yeah. We still have the same problems that we have defensively. A lot of these teams, the Jaguars can run the ball. The Patriots are learning that they can run the ball. The Broncos definitely run the ball. They're not super great at it, but the Texans showed that they could run the ball against us. They really didn't need to be perfectly honest, because they found out that they could just pass the ball and go wherever they wanted with that, even though their quarterback didn't play great. So the Chargers, if the Chargers stay in the playoffs, they absolutely run the ball. And these are foundational deficiencies with our team. This is a game of matchups. So I can't just look at the quarterback and say, well, Josh Allen over everybody else, so we should definitely make it to a Super Bowl. Not that easy.
I agree with the take. I do. And I don't think I'm saying that. So I get your point. And I don't know who, if there's fans out there that think it's an easy path, I would disagree with that take. Yeah. But my thing is, I also will say, on all the teams you mentioned, let's say Houston, that was still, for as great as their defense was, we still had an opportunity, right? I get we didn't get the job done, but I don't think like that game in the playoffs would be. It could come down to still where the Bills should still have a chance to win. I don't think the Texans would dominate the Bills, because they also have a deficiency, which is their offense. Let's be real, right? Their offense is not very good, right? So it could come down to who has the ball less, and I would still take my money. Right? Okay, so that's one. Two, the Chargers, and I hate to be like looking in the past kind of guy, because we're in the now and I'm trying to do that, but the Chargers typically, playoff-wise, have not been a good team. They've dropped the ball many times. So has Baltimore, right? They typically just, Lamar, for some reason, regular season, great quarterback, and this year not so great, but still, normally top 2, top 3 quarterback, MVP level. But playoffs hit, I don't know what happens, right? It's a
much different guy running the show for the Chargers, I'll say that.
No, I get that too, but still, they're also injury prone. There are a lot of injuries going on with them as well. They're an up and down team this year. Same with us. But I still would take, if we're going match to match, I would still take Josh over Herbert in that scenario. I'm just, throwing that out there. And we've also, I think we've proven we're better in the playoffs than the Chargers as of recently, right? Like in the Allen era. With the Patriots, I would say that would be a close game. I don't, that could go either way. But I would still kind of put my money on Allen over May in a bigger game scenario. But I could see the Patriots winning too, but I'm just, if I was a betting man, only because Allen just, I think Allen, and it's weird when Allen has these, except for the Chiefs, of course, and he still balls out though, by the way. But in big moments, like big games, he steps up to another level, I think, and that's scary, right? We've seen it, so that's why I would kind of put my money more on Allen. But dude, it's not an easy path. I think all those games, because how bad our defense is, would be all games that would probably be down to the wire, right? And honestly, guys, that's kind of how the season's been. Outside of the Dolphins game where we kind of got, things got out of hand, right? We're in every game. Like it's usually down to the wire, even against the bad teams. Shouldn't be that way, but it is. So that's why I always say, like, when people are like down on the Bills, we're going to get spanked. That's rare. Like if we lose today, guys, it's not a spanking. It's going to be by 3 or 4, maybe 6 points. Like and if we win, it's the same way. It's going to be probably 3, 4, 6 points, somewhere around there. Because that's how the Bills, honestly, guys, it's how the Bills have been for a while. Honestly, a lot of our games are tight. Like they're tight. They're down at the end. Like we don't really dominate. We find a way, right? Like that's just not in our nature. Like the Lions, when they win, dominating. When we win, it's by 6 points, 7 points. Like we don't have many
backup quarterback. Then it's a blowout.
Right. But I'll take it. By the way, I have no problem with that. I'm not shitting on our team. I love our team. I will always love our team. I'll take the win, however you can get it. And I'll say this: the only time I will never criticize this team after a win or a loss, because people always say, like, how are you guys just won? Sometimes fans get a little, why are you all, you're giving bad stuff, talking bad stuff. Will be a Super Bowl, because that's what we do here. We're podcasters. We would talk about the Bills. I'm going to give you the good, the bad, the ugly. But the only time I'm never going to give you the ugly is if we win the Super Bowl, because I could care less. I could care less about the. That's it. Yeah, it's all great. Everything was fucking great, right? I don't care. But dude, I'm going to. So that's what we do here. We're not homers. We're not gonna after a win be like, bro, we everything was great. Everything was great in that game. So I just want to kind of let you guys know where, as podcasters, at least for me, I know especially for Post Podium, they're going to give you takes from all angles, right? They're not going to just throw it all in one basket and be like, it's all bad or it's all great. I know you guys are a little bit more on the bad side, but you do give some takes and give credit where credit is due when obviously when it's due. So that's what we do. I just want to tell you guys that it's not a negative show. Neither is their show. We're just trying to point out things that the Bills should correct, need to correct, if they want to continue on to be great or win a Super Bowl, which we all want. That's all. That's it. Denver lost to Green Bay and KC, along with New England lost to Buffalo and Miami. Bills get 1 seed by winning out. I don't think we win the division. I think now, mind you, it could still happen. Or anything can happen. Okay, guys, and it wouldn't shock me, but I just feel like a lot has to go right, and it can. But my focus, and it should be all you guys' focus, is getting the playoffs. That's first, right? First and foremost, and handle business there, because it doesn't matter at that point. In regular season, it's over with, guys. Like that part's done. It's a new show, right? 0-0. Right? That's all I care about, right? If we win the division, cool, great, love it. But it's not, to be honest with you guys, we won it 5 years in a row. I could care less anymore. I just, it doesn't matter. I'm not parading around town that we won a division. You know what I mean? I'm not, that part of me ended in like 2023 when we won like 3 in a row. I was like, okay, like at this point, it was a big deal in 2020, cool, 2 years in a row, 3. But dude, after a while, it's like it gets kind of boring. Like I just want a Super Bowl. Like I don't care about the fucking division anymore. Tommy F hates McDermott with a passion. I don't know if I hate him, dude. Like it's weird. I just don't think he's a Super Bowl caliber head coach. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just my opinion. I don't see it. And somebody mentioned up above that he's gotten better through the years, and I would hope so. I mean. I hope he learned from. I would hope everyone learns in their job or whatever they do for a living. Of course, like right. you start off riding a bike as a kid, you're not going to continue 3 years later still fucking falling off the bike. I would hope that you're able to ride the bike with no hands at that point, right? Like you're supposed to get right. You're supposed to get better. So
if you don't, then I'm worried.
Right, if you're still falling off the bike, right, we got a problem here. Scott is is he? I didn't even go through the inactives. Do you have that pulled up?
Yeah.
Can you go ahead and let us know
So
the inactives, actives?
Linebacker Terrell Bernard, wide receiver Gabe Davis, safety Darnell Savage, cornerback Christian Benford, tackle Tylen Grable, tackle Arian Mathis, and tackle Chase Lunt are all inactive for today.
Okay, so is Benford? I'm sorry, I missed that. Is Benford inactive?
Benford is inactive.
Okay, so that's the biggest one, right? Benford being inactive.
Bernard, Gabe Davis, Benford, those.
Oh wow, Gabe Davis inactive too. Oh, okay.
That says a lot. That says a lot. To me, that says this is going to be a
three tight end game.
Well, not just that, but there's going to be the need for audibles, which means they're going to put more on Josh's shoulders to run the offense and just do whatever needs to be done. Because Gabe Davis, granted, to at this point in the season, he should have the foundation of the playbook down, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he knows all of the audibles and everything.
I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? So let's leave him off the field. Let's give Josh Allen every single possible shred of advantage that he can possibly have, which means everybody that's going to be on the field knows the playbook hands down. They've been here since training camp. They know all the audibles, all the ins and outs and all that. So it should be able to run the way he wants it. Yeah,
I like it. And honestly, today with the weather and all that, and then really our honestly, the way this offense is right now, look, it is what it is. Run the ball, use your tight ends, whatever gets the job done. I'm tired of the whole wide receiver talk because it's just not. It's over with. Like for me, like I don't see a way. We're in week 15 that things can just change overnight. Like this, that Brady's gonna finally get how to use them in the right way and scheme them up. Like. So that part's I'm done with. Now I'm going and focusing on what works, or at least what I've seen, Aramis, that works. Okay, I feel like getting our tight ends involved this season have worked much better than years past. Let's continue to do that. Running the ball with James Cook more, yes, let's continue to do that. Getting Josh Allen to run more, yes, let's continue to do that. Right, whatever can stack the wins up. Right, I'm all on board for that. Right, and we'll talk about the receivers in the offseason, what we need to do. But right now, we're in the now, guys, and the now is receivers aren't working out, right? So let's focus on what's working. And that, for me, I think you run 2 or 3 tight end sets. You run the ball, and that's our offense. And when you need to go to a receiver, go to the ones you can count on the most, and that's Khalil Shakir, if you have to. That's it, man. And obviously the tight ends. But Josh will light it up today. Rest of the season will be on fire for the future. Hey, I hope so. And it's possible. The Bills do get, we have gotten hot in December. And that's what I've been saying. I want this team to start stacking wins. And when I meant stacking wins, I said last week it needed to start then. And they need to continue that because I do feel like confidence and getting a mojo, getting that feeling that we could beat anyone going into the playoffs is a big thing, right? And right now the Patriots on a 10-game winning streak, they have that. They have that confidence. They have that mojo. They have that we could beat anyone any given Sunday. Doesn't matter. Even if we play bad, we still feel like we're going to win the game, right? Because they've had some close games. Let's be real. It's not like they're spanking teams either. They've had some close games against teams they probably should have spanked. But they still got the job done. That's the one thing we haven't done, and that's the reason why we're sitting where we're sitting, right? So if we could start stacking wins down the stretch here, it's a great thing going into the playoffs, right? So I'm hoping that's the case. So it is getting late. It's 12:35. I want to get into the X factors and the score predictions. So do me a favor, guys. Put your score prediction in the chat This way I could pop it up on the chat. Robert, it looks shaky for the defensive backfield with Teron Johnson, Dane Jackson, Cam Lewis, and Trey White. It is. I'm not going to lie. And that means Harrison will get an opportunity today, which is fine. He needs to see the field more. I'm okay with that. It's too bad Benford was playing at a high level over the last 3 weeks, I would say. Just as he's starting to get at a level where we wanted him to be, he gets hurt in practice, of course, right? The story of the Buffalo Bills. By the way, that makes like 7+ injuries this year in practice. It's wild. I think we have actually 14 injuries in total in practice, or 15. Right. We're up there. So it's once again, what's going on in practice, I have no idea, but you gotta figure a solution out on why this is happening in practice. Like it's I saw an article the other day that said, oh, it's not a big deal, and if you look at the past years, it's kind of similar how they kind of, okay, all right, I'll buy into that. However, if you're Sean McDermott and your coaching staff, why aren't you at least going, okay, this has been a consistent thing. Why? What can we do to prevent this? Or what are we doing wrong here, right? Right? How can we at least get those numbers lower? And once again, it hasn't. It's gotten worse. So I don't know. Something's off there, right? To me. But anyways, guys, put your predictions. So go ahead, Aramis. Your X factors on offense and defense.
All right. So my X factor for offense today is going to be the running back, man. James Cook. James Cook is going to be the X factor. They are missing Milton Williams, and Harold Landry is not playing, so their edge setting is going to be a challenge today on top of their overall run defense. They have not been a good run defending team for the last, I think, basically since Milton Williams went out. So that would have been 6 weeks ago. Okay. So listen, James Cook, if you got him in fantasy, throw him up there.
Let him cook.
Thank you. Yes.
Woo,
yes. He loves it. He loves it. He's asleep right now, but he loves it, I'm sure.
Can you let him cook? All right, go ahead.
So yes, I think Cook is going to be the X factor. And obviously Josh is going to have to be an X factor in this game. Defensively, man, I think it's going to have to be Epinesa. He's going to have to rotate a lot with Bosa because Bosa's still, dealing with the injury and all that kind of stuff. And Epinesa has been our best pass rusher this season, not named Joey Bosa. So he's going to have to be the guy that's taking advantage of the left tackle not playing. Obviously if he has too much success, they're going to chip and stuff like that. But I just think pass rush in general is going to be the key here. With Drake May, and his Drake May has the highest time to throw in the league. And
he does, yeah.
That says a lot about, the level of weapons that he has and him holding the ball. That's been a knock on Drake May this season and last season, is him holding the ball too long, sliding around the pocket into sacks and stuff like that. So naturally, with the way the Bills play defense and changing the coverages after the ball is snapped and making the quarterback think a little longer, that should lead to more pressure and more mistakes by Drake May. We just got to hope that, we can get 2 or 3 of those to go our way.
And what's your score prediction?
So I have the Bills winning this game convincingly. I think
last week you didn't. Last week you were like, picking the Bengals.
Yeah,
I like it though. Convincingly. Okay. This is different.
Last week I didn't expect that game to be played in snow. I think if it was played on a regular, on regular turf,
it could have been different. And you might be absolutely right. I mean, that's great home field advantage for you though. But go ahead.
That's right. That's absolutely right. So I got the Bills winning by 10 in this one. I was just about to say that, No Bones.
Wow, look at that, No Bones. Really? Okay. I like it. I do. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Okay, my X factor on defense will be Cole Bishop. The guy's playing at a high level each week. He's all over the field. We're going to need him to be all over the field in this game, making plays. And on offense, I'm going to go Kincaid, even though I think James Cook will be really truthfully used a lot and be the X factor. I'll go Kincaid here because we're going to need to throw the ball here at times as well. And this might be another tight end game. I would say maybe Knox, but Knox is so inconsistent with his play. Even the Bills and Brady just kind of dialing up for him specifically. And now that Kincaid is back, Knox won't be the prime weapon at tight end, right? It's going to be back to what it usually is, which is Kincaid. Knox probably will get a couple targets, but I think it'll be Kincaid's show as far as offense goes, receiving. Everybody else receiving wise will probably just have your typical Shakir, six targets, 4 receptions, 45 yard. It's going to be, Coleman 2 catches, 22 yards. Like that's going to probably be Brandon Cooks 1 catch, 10 yards, right? Like that's what it's gonna be. That's okay. But that's what I'm going now. Score. I have it closer. I do have the Bills winning. I'm gonna go 33-26, something like that. 33-27. I think it's close. I think the one thing I'll say about this game, I want the Bills I want a better game in the first half. I'm tired of the flat starts. Yeah. The slow starts. That's one thing the Bills have been doing that I hate this season is these slow starts where they're scoring 3 points at the half. They're scoring 0 points at the half. They're scoring 6. We need to put points up on the board here going into half where we're at least, I want to see 10 plus points by halftime, at least. And that's not asking a lot. But anything but under 10 is just, it's just tough, man. It makes it really, really tough on the team. I hate that. I hate having to come back in games all the time. How about we have the lead at half for once, right? Right? Where we're the ones in charge going into the second half, not playing from behind. Seems like we're playing behind in almost every game now. I want to be in front. So that's what I want in this game. But I do think the Bills pull this one out, though it could go either way. It's a good team we're playing. X Factor Sean McDermott, Roy, you're a trip, man. You are. You're a trip. All right, let's get to the Real Men of Genius, and then we're gonna get out of here and watch some Buffalo Bills football, guys. I will be here halftime and post game with me and Mikey. Real quick before we do everything, post podium. Tell us what's going on over there, man.
Oh my gosh. So I've been in contact with Arthur's guy. We're just trying to get his schedule locked down. So hopefully I can get him on the show first week of January.
Okay, cool.
And obviously if the Steelers don't make it to the playoffs, it's going to be a weird conversation, but
yeah, it will be.
Yeah, but working on getting him on. I'm reaching out to some people now. We're going to start doing a lot more interviews on the show. That's kind of the direction I want to start taking going forward. Just in general. So we got that going. I'm reaching out to more players, and the perspective on that is going to be more devoted to trying to give our viewers and really anybody who's interested an opportunity to see the game from a player perspective, because I think that's kind of the one thing that gets left out the most when it comes to the public information that we get from the league, ESPN, and all these other television channels. Those are usually the media / team spin, and then we hear a little bit from the players, and then we also get the front office spin from the team during press conferences and stuff like that. We don't really get the players' perspective, so I just kind of want to bring that to the forefront. So
okay,
that's the vision going forward now for really all of our shows. But again, Mondays and Fridays, 5:30 to 7:30 is our live podcast. Wednesdays typically at 7 is post podium conversations, more of an intimate, one-on-one with just me. And then Coach D's Corner, which is our film review stuff that I do with Buffalo Bills alumni Damaris Johnson, and that's at 7:30 until 8:30.
Nice. You know what's cool about their channel, guys, too? Their time. They're on like a drive time home. Like when you're heading home from work, pop on post podium, because that's a perfect time to be listening to some football while you're stuck in traffic. So man, awesome time to be on at 5:30, man, for you guys that are Had a long day at work. Pop on that post podium. Listen to some good football talk. Real quick, Aramis, the polls have ended. And guess what won?
Compliment.
The Aramis pickup, the compliment box. 44%. Mystery box got 37%. And the complaint, only 19%. 52 votes were. So, Aramis, you owe it. What is your compliment to the Buffalo Bills?
Okay. Let's see. A compliment for the Buffalo Bills. Boy, I tell you what. I don't think the Bills could have ever gotten to the place that they are now in recognizability amongst, both abroad and local, recognition in terms of, everybody kind of having this understanding that the Bills are a good team and a good franchise and well run. Even though there are some of us who have done the research and know better than that, it's still nice to know that, a bunch of other people outside of Buffalo or who are not necessarily, intense fans look at us in that way. And I think we have to thank Terry Pegula and the job that he's done, putting the people in place that he has, to have gotten so lucky to have drafted Josh Allen to get us to the place where we are now. So kudos to Terry Pegula.
Man, what a good compliment there. And you know who agrees? Sean McDermott gives you the clap. He totally agrees on that one from you. So, yeah, guys, let's get to the Real Men of Genius, and then we're going to get out of here. We appreciate all you guys, by the way, rocking with us today. I'm sorry I missed some of your chat, but you guys know that I get to most of them when I can. All right, let's get to the Real Men of Genius, and we're going to get out of here and watch some Buffalo Bills kick some ass today. All right, Real Men of Genius, here we go. Let's see what I got. All right, here we go. What am I going to play? Let's see.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
No.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Chinese food delivery guy.
Mr. Chinese food delivery guy.
Without you, we'd be forced to do the unthinkable when we wanted Chinese food. Drive to a restaurant.
A moose you got man.
But you, sir, bring it to us in under 20.
Ride like the wind.
Armed with your rickety bike, you battle traffic, bad weather, and the occasional busted elevator. And why do you do it? Because somewhere a guy is waiting for his Kung Pao crab puffs, and he's got $1.57 with your name on it. So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, oh mercenary of the Mandarin chicken, and know that when America is looking for a man to get the job done, you do deliver.
You deliver.
Bud Light beer, Anheuser-Busch.
I got a whole $1.70, 10%.
$1.57 with your name.
Yeah, $1.57. Oh my god!
And I was done after that.
Yeah, I don't think they do that anymore, do they? I mean, maybe in the city they probably still use bikes, right? New York, I assume, right?
Yeah,
over by you.
New York
okay,
is huge on that. It's weird. So a lot of places outside of Buffalo's weird. It's one of those places where you see people with the e-bikes, but I guess we just haven't graduated to that place yet.
No, okay,
no.
So here in Michigan, we do not have. I mean, we have e-bikes. All e-scooters are a big thing now over here.
Yep.
But ain't no delivery guy going on his bike around here. It's just I haven't seen one.
I've seen it once. I've seen it
really?
once. Yeah, once.
yeah, dude. I couldn't do it. All right, last one, and we're getting out of here.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Ultimate Philadelphia sports fan.
Mr. Ultimate Philadelphia sports fan.
Football, baseball, competitive eating contests. If the dog show came to town, you'd tailgate it.
You're the shit too.
Your dedication keeps your football team going. Going where? Nobody really knows.
We should be going somewhere.
You, sir, will boo anything. Long lines, the hot dog vendor, a jolly old fat man at halftime.
He totally had it coming.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, oh bastion of brotherly love. Nobody can take away your passion. But if they tried, you'd launch a snowball at them.
Mr. Ultimate Philadelphia Sports
Bud Light beer.
Those are so funny, man. Anyways, dude, guys, you've been great. I'll see you at halftime. Aramis, awesome, obviously. Best co-host for a pregame, man. We keep it real. We keep it honest. We love our Bills, man, at the end of the day. I know we're harsh on them sometimes, but we all want one thing, man. Super Bowl, man. We want a Super Bowl. That's all we want here, man. And Sal, go kick rocks, bro. And Sal, whatever the fuck your last name is. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I wanna apologize. It was kind of my fault that you got bombed yesterday with all the BGG comments.
I love it.
We've now adopted that. That's our thing now. Yeah.
I heard it's called. What is it called now? What are you guys calling it?
About to get going.
About to get going. Yeah, you're welcome. Though here it's Big Game Gabe. All right, guys, we're out of here, guys. Bills Mafia, guys, rule. Go Bills. Peace.
All right, peace. Go Bills.
There it is.
Just